Hi folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Coming in here with another blog post. I want to talk to you about, I'd seen a blog post from someone that I follow pretty regularly on some of the different ideas that they share out with the world. They have some really great pioneering ideas and kind of a different way of skewing or looking at things. And so one of my favorite bloggers posted a blog. I won't get into his name because it's not something I really want to argue to point with someone on, as opposed to just point out what's out there. The blog post they taken and made talked about marketing, about how maybe the best thing you should do is market to people in your customer base or your already acquired customer base, and trying to develop those customers more as opposed to trying to acquire new customers, etc., etc. The blog post is, of course, usually visionary from this gentleman, and I understand the concept of what he's trying to say, that, definitely delving into, what's the simplest concept? The two birds in the hand are better than one in the bush, which is very true. But businesses are very different, and I think the thing that I took away from it in wanting to make a blog post about it is I think it would teach a lot of people that not to think in absolutes with their business, that they should do one thing or another with their given marketing. It should not be that way. You don't know which, sometimes, especially when you're starting out, what different marketing things are going to work. Sometimes you're completely surprised. I know I've been surprised in the past. I'm like, really, that worked? And if it hadn't been for that shotgun approach or some different ways that you use to make your marketing work, sometimes it makes all the difference in the success of your business, which it has for me. I mean, I can name a couple different businesses that we tried some really weird marketing, and if it hadn't worked, we probably would never have been successful in those companies, or at least in getting them off the ground and launching them. Now, maybe longer term we would have been more successful, but we were initially much more successful, much more profitable, made more revenues in the shorter term than I think we otherwise would have. So, you never know how it's going to work. The other thing is there's certain businesses that you have which are congruent to delving out from your current customers. I was in the mortgage business still am in the mortgage business, and own a company for I think close to 15 or 16, probably 20 years now. I think in a couple more years it'll be 20 years. So I've been in the mortgage business for almost 20 years with one of the companies I own. And I mean, obviously, you can only do a mortgage every 3 to 5 years, maybe 7 years for most people in most states. There's no reason to keep, reheating those customers. Now, some of them do when you're in markets where things are going up and down, but when they're in dead markets or slow cap markets like the ones we're in now, you really can't keep reheating your customers. So the point that I wanted to make, and when I came away from their impression in teaching small business people or business people how to do their business, don't think in absolutes. Don't think, well, should I put my money in new customers? Should I put my money in old customers? Okay? When you think in absolutes in business, that's what gets you in trouble. The majority of businesses fail in the first 2 years, about 99% of them. Now, I'm no expert on it, but I can tell you what I've seen almost all the time in buying businesses that are in trouble and helping people and working on giving loans to people that are in trouble. 99% of the time, the entrepreneur has held to the same model that they started out with. They are still trying to make that stupid model work, and it's not working. And usually the only time they begin to question it or think outside of that box is when they're down to their last dime or dollar. Then they decide this to switch it up. They're out of money at that point, and they're usually bankrupt and out of business, unfortunately. So give your business a shotgun approach. Don't think in absolutes, okay? There's another blog post that we'll talk about if a business isn't growing, it's dying. It's a very simple solution. So that's another reason why you constantly need to be getting more new clients. And expanding your business, because there's certain attrition that goes on with older businesses. But we'll cover that in the next blog post to keep this one short. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com, and be sure to check back daily. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.